So, in this video, I actually took a few different recommendations and threw them all together and said, why not? Let's try to make as many people happy as possible. So, with that being said, the requests that I am referring to, there's actually I think 3 or 4. So the first one was, are bounties viable? Should I be doing bounties? The next one was, how do I get the chameleon? What's going on with that exotic? What's the best way to farm for the chameleon? The next one was, hey man, do you have a Brazos Memento build for PvE? And then the last one was, hey Kami, when's the next time you're going to try out the chameleon? I know you don't like it, but you know, the chameleon's a good exotic. You should try it out again. And well, I'm doing all those in this video. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Here we go. What's going on, YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 build video. So sit back, relax, grab that popcorn. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Now I'm going to give you a chameleon build. I'm also going to tell you how to get the chameleon. And we're going to do some cool gameplay and everything. I even get exotics to drop in this gameplay. It's pretty sick. So here we go. And don't forget to shout out to the DoD Disciples of Doom. But let's go ahead and jump straight to the gameplay, because how do you get the chameleon? Well, here it is, right, y'all? This is on my build right now. Chameleon all maxed out. Expertise level 11 because I'm cheap when it comes to exotic components. And my total base damage is at 84.3k. Now, I also just got a chameleon to drop. You can see it right there underneath my Slayer. Now, how did I get that to drop? Pretty simple. Bounties. Bounties are still very viable in the game. Now, you can see I have all these heroic bounties all over the map due to the snitch, right? Because every time I see the snitch, I pick up the bounty, and then I close it out. I go to the bounty settings, and then I abort the bounty. That way I can keep it for later. And then you can see all over the map, I'll randomly have, you know, heroic bounties galore. I mean, look at all these. Jeez. And that's because every time you see the snitch, you can pick up a bounty, and it matches your global settings. And for me, my global settings is set on heroic. So all of these, let me see, all of them? Yeah. All of these bounties are on heroic. So whenever I, get, antsy, I can go and hit up a few of these bounties. Now, the best way to get the chameleon is still through the bounties. You don't need AR to be targeted loot at all. I'll show that. I think I did it on my 3rd or 4th bounty. I got the chameleon to drop. Every single time I ever farm bounties, I get the chameleon to drop. Every single time. Does it happen on the very first bounty? No. But by the 3rd or 4th, yeah, someone on my team's going to have a, chameleon to drop. Now, for all of this gameplay, it's all on heroic. Everything's heroic. So I'm doing this solo on heroic, and heroic bounties are the hardest bounties you can do in the game. So that answers your question when it comes to difficulties and things like that. So I hope you enjoy the gameplay. I even get an exotic to drop. So hit that thumbs up, support the channel by subscribing, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let's roll that footage and then come back here for the build breakdown. Let's go. All right, first bounty is nearly complete. I think I'm going to do them all here in a Federal Triangle just because it's a smaller part of the map, and I can get this bounty to keep reactivating in the same area over and over. There is a restock box in this building, so I can just stay here, keep my memento stacks, and then just keep doing the bounty over and over. Hopefully we get a chameleon to drop. We'll see. Fingers crossed, but who knows. All right, so let's take care of this boss. This is Blitzed. And remember, all of this is heroic solo with my new chameleon build. And for me, this is probably the best chameleon setup I'm going to have for, this exotic. The reason I say that is we get the mag size, we get tier 3 skills, we have 1.5 million armor, and when everything is maxed out from the memento, I have well over 100k on my chameleon just starting off. And then that's without all of these other buffs. Oh, almost got him. There it is. All right, first one down. No chameleon, but it's all good. Let's collect our stacks, and then we'll go back to it.
Nicely done, Sheriff.
Not bad. We'll check out all the loot whenever I do the build breakdown. All right, next up. Oh, man, it's like Groundhog Day. I feel like I was just here. All right, this time we are about to go up against Kindle. Kindle. We already killed Ice and Face. So now it's time for Kindle. All right. This one's Hyena. Ooh, that heavy hurts from distance. Try to get my stacks up. Damn, dude. Keeps hitting me. Oop. Get out of here. Alright, let's take him out. Oh, he's not even the boss. Alright, got 2 of my procs. Hit the head, get that 3rd proc. There it is. Alright, now I have all procs. Nice. Alright, where's that boss at? Oh, there he is. I see him. Oh. I'm gonna blew up his bag. Yo, we still have a red enemy? There we go. Oh, of course you get me with your little RC car. And bye-bye. Nope. No chameleon there either. All right, let's do it again. Rinse and repeat.
Good job, Agent.
Oh, nice, dude. That was nice. That was actually very, very satisfying. That's pretty cool. I didn't think the technician would take them out, but it did. It took them all out but the boss, which is fine. I wanted the henchman out before the boss anyways. That way I could do a little face tankage. But this is really fun with max stacks. It's ridiculous. And my defender drone before the memento stacks, my defender drone's at like 42% deflecting. I mean, it's ridiculous. So who knows what it's at once I get all of these stacks for the skill efficiency. I'm sure the defender drone's probably at 30 or at 50%. I mean, has to be. If I'm starting off at 42%, I don't know. All right, come on. Ration. And you're dead. Bye-bye. All right, 3 down. Damn, no chameleon to drop again. All right, let's go again. Go, go, go. Die. Oop, target spotted. Where's he at? Oh, goddamn, he's behind me. Oh, my God, I'm gonna die. Oh. All right, I'm good. Jeez, I thought I was about to die there. All that burst damage out of nowhere. Oh, it's because we have a big chunga. Chunga. Let me get these stacks on him. There we go. Oh, there's the boss. Shades. All right, Shades, I got you. Yeah, there was a dude named Shades in that Luke Cage TV show back in the day on Netflix. Whenever they were doing Marvel shows, there's a dude named Shades in Luke Cage. He was pretty cool. Yo, why does he sound like a heavy? Did you hear that? Oh, got it. We got the chameleon to drop on our 4th bounty. Let's go. This method never fails me. I always get a chameleon to drop. That's crazy. Max health damage. Not bad, but still. That's nice, man. Let's do a 5th bounty just for good measure. Ouch. Of course, they leave the worst one for the last. I said I wanted to do one more bounty, and now they're playing hard to get. I have 2 healers. I have a chunga. I have a grenader. Like, this bounty's kicking my butt right now. Oop. Got one of the healer boxes down, but still, I still have this chunga too. Ouch! Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. Oh man, clutch. Oh man, should call me Kobe Bryant for all this clutch action. All right, chunga, let's go, bro. It's just me and Hugh. What you want, Chunga? What you want, Chunga? Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, 2 enemies left and we're done. I forgot how long bounties actually take. I mean, this took quite a while. All of it's heroic solo. We haven't died or anything. I never even got med kits. I'm out of med kits completely. Just going ham. Look at this. Bye. Bye. That's number 5, baby. Let's go. Now let's do the build breakdown. I think I've shown enough. I think I've done it. Let's get out of here. And that's all she wrote, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed that. Initially, I was going to do 10 bounties to try to, be cool. That one guy, hey, man, yo, guys, I did 10 bounties. But instead, getting that exotic on the 4th run, I was like, all right, let me just do 5 bounties. I'll keep the build video at, like a 20-something minute build video. And then, we'll get on with our days. So that is it for the gameplay. Let's jump into the build breakdown. Now you know how to get the Chameleon. Now you know how the Chameleon is used. You see solo heroic gameplay and me taking out all of those bounties and getting a new Chameleon all at the same time. So now it's time to show you the build breakdown. So starting off at the top, we are using the Technician specialization. Reason being is I wanted that +1 skill tier. Because the way that I have this build set up, I wanted 60 rounds in the magazine for the Chameleon. Now, the only way to do that was to run 3 pieces of Brazos de Arquebus. Now, with the release of the new Picaro's holster, I wanted to use this with the Chameleon anyways. That way I could double dip into those core attributes. I wanted more armor, and I also wanted more base damage. Now, yes, you do lose a little bit of crit doing this, but it's well worth it because that base damage is ridiculous. Not only that, but the Chameleon gives you crit, so we'll talk about that in a second. So right off the bat, I was like, okay, Chameleon build for what? Doing some bounties on heroic. How do I want to do this? Well, I wanted the Memento because the Memento, in my opinion, for any sort of solo PvE, it's best in slot. You get everything. You get bonus armor, weapon damage, you get skill efficiency, and you also get armor regen over time. I mean, it's pretty much the best thing for a solo person, especially in PvE, because you're killing all the enemies yourself, so then you get to collect all those trophies yourself. You're not fighting for kills. You're not fighting for trophies. You're just doing it all yourself, and it greatly benefits everything you do in the build. Now, also, using that with the Picaros, just that on its own gives me 5 core attributes. I get 3 core attributes from the Memento, and then I get a blue and a red from the Picaros. So already I'm like, okay, we're sitting pretty good with the Chameleon. Well, at that point, I felt the magazine size was too small. So I decided, let's put on 2 more Brazos. So now we have 2 skill tiers, and I have a 60-round magazine for my Chameleon. So I'm getting all these check, boxes done. So at that point, I'm like, okay. So we have our 3-piece Brazos. We have our Memento. So with that, we're getting our armor up, our damage up, and we have 2 free skill tiers. And I was like, well, with the Chameleon, there's no reason to really run any specific specialization unless I really have to. Well, I don't have to run any specialization. I can use whatever I want because this build is very universal. You can use whatever it is you want. So I chose the Technician. The reason I chose that is for that 3rd skill tier. So that 3rd skill tier really does help out. So I'm using the Defender drone, right? Now this Defender drone before the Memento stacks, all of that skill efficiency, before all of that, it's sitting at 42.3% damage reduction. And that's in PvE. That's what I'm using it for. So I'm already at 42% reduction with that Defender drone before the Memento stacks. So I'm probably sitting, well above 50% damage reduction using this Defender drone with those Memento stacks active. And that's because of the tier 3 skill tiers. So the tier 3 gives me 210% health on that drone and increases that reduction rate by 15%. And that's what is crazy about having 3 free skill tiers. Now, the other one I was using is the Jammer Pulse, right? So the jammer pulse now gets a 30% increase to not only the radius, but also the effect duration. So I'm staggering those enemies and they stay disrupted for a longer amount of time. So you can see right here, their effect duration's just under 4 seconds at a 31-meter radius. That's a lot of jamming power. So that's why I'm using the Technician. In theory, you can use whatever specialization you want. It doesn't matter. Make it work for your build. But for me personally, I felt that, getting 3 free skill tiers, it was like, come on, it's a no-brainer. You want that. You want stronger skills, whatever skills you're running. Now another thing, with this being a Chameleon build, I am only using the Chameleon. So I have the Slayer and the backup boomstick as my placeholders, but you can use whatever you want, okay? Now, just a reminder, the Slayer will come out again next month. That's right. Next month, we'll have another holiday event like we do every year. And just like we do every year, this weapon will be available. So if you don't have the Slayer, next month will be the time to get it. So enough about that. Let's talk about the star of the show, shall we? The Chameleon. This is it. The exotic assault rifle with its insane talent, adaptive instincts. Now, this Chameleon is only at expertise level 11. It goes up to 21. So you can get the base damage up another 10%. Now, for me personally, it costs too many exotic components. I'm poor and I'm lazy. I'm not going to sit there and make it all the way up to 21 right now. Maybe over time I will, but with all of these different weapons I'm using, I'm trying to at least get all of my weapons to 11. So it's taking a second. But for right now, 84.3 Ks on that total damage. Everything's maxed out, AR, health, and crit chance. But it's only about the talent. The talent is what makes this weapon. If it wasn't for the talent, this weapon would be trash. It'd be hot cabbage and you dispense a kid. It would be that doo-doo garbage over there down the street. Wrong fucking alley. You know what I'm saying? So the adaptive instincts is what makes this thing shine. It makes this thing look like a fresh mint $100 bill. Fresh Benji, Now, the adaptive instincts, there's 3 different talents in one. And that's why every time I'm aiming the weapon, you would see 3 different circles. Those are your different buffs. Now, when those circles are filled, they will change colors, and you will see that your buff is activated. However, whenever you get out of cover, that buff will disappear. It is, or not out of cover, out of combat. It is only active in combat. So you can't just run up on, some NPCs with all of these buffs active. It'll immediately disable after combat. Now, the way I do this, so I'm going to explain the talent in the way that I do it. I do this in a different order. I do bottom, top, middle. So I do leg shots first because I want that reload speed. That reload speed is what makes this weapon shine. So you want that reload speed immediately. So go for the legs, 30 shots, boom. You have a 60-round magazine. That's half your shots in one magazine. Boom, you get those legs. All of a sudden, you're sitting at less than a second for that reload speed because you get 150%. And your reload speed's already at 2.2 seconds. So once you add 150% reload speed to that, you're under a second. You're good to go. Next, I go for the head. 30 headshots. That gives you 20% crit chance and 50% crit hit damage. So let's look at the stats here, right? So 20% crit chance. Well, that puts me over max because max is at 60. So doing that, I'm at max crit chance, I'm at 150% reload speed, and I get another 50 added to my crit damage. Now this is at 141 on paper, but whenever I get that Chameleon to proc, it goes up to 191 for the Chameleon with max crit chance and 150% reload speed, getting me down to under a second reloading. Oh, God, that's wicked. Now, another thing about this is then you go for the body shots. So now you're sitting at under a second reload, max crit chance, and 191 crit hit damage. Then you go for the body. 75% body shots. You do that, you get 90%. 90% weapon damage for 45 seconds. And that's when you go back to that gameplay I just showed you. I was melting those chungas as soon as I got these procs activated. It was game over. Everything gets melted instantly. And that's what makes this build shine, is once you get these talents activated, it's game over. Oh, game over, man. It's game over. Okay. Enough about talking up this exotic. I mean, let's be real. In actuality, I don't ever use it. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't. I think that this and the Bighorn were two great weapons that were, they're okay. They're very situational, but they're okay. And I remember the developers talking about these exotics, saying how they want the exotics to not be best in class, but to make you adjust your play style to them, which it's exactly what they're doing. So job well done. So this Chameleon, I have to play to its strengths. I go for the legs, then I go for the head, then I go for the body. Game over. So looking at the build overall, we already pretty much discussed the logic behind me putting together this build, but what I did is I missed the last two items, the gloves and the knee pads. So in theory, whenever I was putting this build together, I was like, all right, I have the Technician with the Memento, 3-piece Brazos, so now I have a 60-round mag, 3 skill tiers. I'm doing pretty good, right? Because not only that, but I'm at 1.6 million armor just with these 4 pieces of gear. So I was like, okay, I could keep 2 red cores for my gloves and my knee pads. What am I going to do for damage? So then I went to the firing range. I started testing out some damages, right? So I tried, Fenris Walker. I tried Fenris Grupo. I tried Fox's Prayer, Fenris and Fox's Prayer, Fox's Prayer and Grupo. I mean, I tried them all, right? This one seems to win the cake. And surprise, surprise, it's because they're both the best in slot items. Reason being, you have the Contractor's Gloves, right? They give you 8% damage to armor. And that is amazing. And then not only that, but then you get the Fox's Prayer with the 8% damage to targets out of cover. And that is pretty much always going to happen. Whenever the NPCs pop out of cover to shoot you, whenever they're running at you, whenever they're walking down the street, whenever they're doing anything, they're pretty much always out of cover. Unless you suppress them in cover, they're pretty much always out of cover. So use this with the Contractor's Gloves. You get the multiplicative buffs with all of that extra weapon damage from the Memento and a higher mag size from your Brazos. You're using that with tier 3 skills. And I mean, come on, it's good to go. This is pretty much cookie cutter, perfect build for PvE content on Heroic. Now, let's dive into the build, shall we? Starting with the Brazos de Arquebus. Now, the Brazos brand set bonuses I get from this build, 10% skill haste, a skill tier, and then 20% magazine size. Now, for the attributes, I have crit chance, crit damage on here maxed out with a max crit hit damage mod, and then I maxed out the armor for the core attribute. My second piece of Brazos is the chest piece. Again, maxed out armor for the core, crit chance, crit damage with a max crit damage mod. Now for the chest piece, I know it's kind of controversial, but I did everything in the gameplay with glass cannon. Yes, I can play with glass cannon and not die. It's pretty damn simple. I do this in PvP every day, and I can also do it in PvE. It's not bad. You just have to have the play style that, accents this sort of, setup, and you're good to go. If you're normally, a tank build that likes to run around with their head cut off, glass cannon might not be the way to go. And if you need an alternative, just change out glass cannon for unbreakable, and there you go. Everyone's happy. Yeah, that's the chest piece. My last piece of Brazos is the Picaro's holster. This is the named holster that gives you 2 core attributes. It gives you the choice of armor or skill tier for the core up top, and then it gives you a 15% weapon damage at the bottom. Now this one has both maxed out and max crit hit damage for the normal attribute. And that is your 3 pieces of Brazos. Let's go to the best in slot items. Knee pads, Fox's Prayer for that damage targets out of cover. I'm using it only for that. So I have max weapon damage and crit damage for the other attributes, but it's all about that damage targets that I cover. Next, Contractor's Gloves. Same logic applies here, but this time armor damage. I want that damage to armor. It is vital. It is amazing. Now again, max weapon damage and crit damage. And then finally, the last piece of the puzzle, but probably the most important piece of the puzzle, is the Memento Backpack. Now, this thing not only gives you one of each core attributes, but it also gives you a crazy strong talent. Now, my backpack, everything's maxed out with max crit hit damage mod, but it's all about this talent, Kill Confirmed. So Kill Confirmed gives you two different buffs, right? It gives you a short-term buff and then a long-term buff. Now, the short term only lasts 10 seconds. That long term could last forever if you really wanted it to. So the short term, that is based off of your core attributes that are on paper, not the core attributes you know you have, because we know we have weapon damage from the Picaros and we get a skill tier from the Technician, but that doesn't count. This only counts what is on paper. So right now, you can see my name in the center of the screen. Underneath that, my shade level, and then underneath that, my attribute list. And it says 3, 4, 1. So based off of that, whenever I get a memento stack and I pick it up, I get 15% weapon damage, 40% bonus armor, and 5% skill efficiency for 10 seconds. Every time I pick one of those up, and they do stack. You can pick up as many as you want within those 10 seconds, and they do stack. Now for the long-term buff. The long-term buff for the Memento stacks up to 30 times. So if you can kill and collect 30 trophies within 5 minutes, you're good to go. You can keep that buff forever, as long as you get a kill and pick up one trophy every 5 minutes. Once you do that, it resets the timer. You have another 5 minutes. But as long as you get one kill and one trophy every 5 minutes, it doesn't matter. It'll stay active. And that's the best part about this backpack, because that long-term buff, if you can keep it active, you get 30% weapon damage, 30% skill efficiency, and 3% armor regen. And that's forever as long as you keep it active. So what I was doing in this gameplay is all 5 of those bounties I did with the same life. I never went to the safe house. I never went to the base, nothing. All I did was stay in Federal Triangle, and I just kept reactivating the bounty, and I just kept doing heroic bounties solo with the same life. At the end of all those bounties, I was at 0 med kits, and I was like barely hanging on. I felt like I was going to die. But I did it. I did all 5, same life, and I kept the memento stacks active the entire time. And that's key, especially if you're running solo, is having that memento and active at all times. Okay, and that's it. This is my Chameleon build for, solo PvE, and I use it for heroic bounties. Now let's finish up with the stats sheet. Now this is for the Chameleon. 84.3k for the weapon damage, 46.5k or 5% crit hit chance, but it goes up to max whenever I have the Chameleon activated. 141 on the crit hit damage, but again, it goes up to 191 when the Chameleon is active. 70 headshot, 8% armor damage and damage to targets at a cover, and then of course the 21% health damage. Going to the offensive tab, we're at 81% all weapon damage bonus and 30% AR damage bonus. So every time I'm using the Chameleon, I'm starting off at 111% damage bonus total. Gear talents, I am using Glass Cannon with Kill Confirmed. For the defensive tab, we're just about 1.6 million armor, 339k health, and 10% explosive resistance and hazard protection, and that's due to my watch level. So here is your disclaimer for all my build videos. I am currently shade level 3,850. That means all of these attribute boxes are maxed out 50 of 50. Now, if you are at or above shade level 1000, you have the exact same things I do. There is no difference between your stats and my stats except for the health when it comes to shade level. As long as you hit shade level 1000, you can get the exact same numbers as someone with a million shade level. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. The only thing that changes is the health. That is it. So your damage numbers, your hazard numbers, your armor numbers, all of that will be the same as soon as you hit Shade Level 1000. Now, if you are below Shade Level 1000, some of these boxes will not be maxed out. So whenever you go to copy and paste my build, some of your numbers might be lower. It's okay. This is still a very, very fun build to run. Trust me, I love it. But you can get it a little bit better if you reach Shade Level 1000. Now, I'm not saying you have to do it. It's not a requirement. I'm just recommending it. It would behoove you to get max shade level. That way you can get the most out of your build. So there you go. That is it, everyone. This is my Chameleon build. I showed you and told you how to get it. And yeah, here's the build. Check it out, copy and paste, do the whole thing. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you found this video helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Subscribe for more content at the channel. And let me know in the comments what you guys think. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a good day. Peace.